Unit 2. Lesson 3. In 1885, the German Carl Benz began selling cars with petrol engines. Interest grew and, by 1896, he had sold 130. And after he had shown the way like this, other makers quickly followed. Those early cars were noisy and not very fast or comfortable, and they often broke down. But the technology developed fast, and by 1909 Rolls-Royce's Silver Ghost was able to offer a quiet, reliable comfort at 80 km per hour. Only rich people could afford a Rolls-Royce, but already, in 1908, the American Henry Ford had begun building cars much more cheaply. They moved along a production line at his factory, and thousands of workers each added one small part to each car. The result was the Model T Ford, a car that many could afford. By 1929, Ford had sold 15 million. That was the start of today's huge car industry. A century ago, there were about 200,000 cars in the world. Now, the world produces 200,000 every day. People love their cars, but we can all see that cars bring great problems. Bad driving causes terrible accidents, with thousands of road deaths and injuries every year. Again, pollution from exhaust emissions causes illness, especially in cities with millions of cars. And there is worse. The emissions include carbon dioxide, CO2, which is changing Earth's whole atmosphere in dangerous ways. And there is something else. Petrol is an oil product, and oil is becoming very expensive. After these problems had become clear by the late 1990s, car makers started designing new sorts of engines. Recently, the first of the new vehicles have begun appearing. They are hybrids that have both an electric motor and a petrol engine. They are more expensive to build than ordinary cars, but they are cheaper and cleaner to run. However, engineers will soon be able to offer a better solution, a car that runs on fuel cells. These mix hydrogen, H, with oxygen, O, from the atmosphere. The result is very cheap electric power, and the only waste is water, H2O. In 10 years, perhaps you will have this sort of car outside your house.